guys, Elizabeth here. So today I'm going to look at the natal chart of Elon Musk, who is the mastermind behind Tesla and SpaceX. He has some dominant Aquarian themes, so I'm going to go into that archetype in detail. So we all have Aquarius somewhere, but if you have it as a dominant archetype, you'll find this quite insightful. So thank you for watching and listening, and let's take a look. So Elon is in the middle here where the cross is. And when he took his first breath, this is what was around him. The planets here and the constellations here. And then you have houses and aspects. So the blue lines are trines and sextiles, and those are like gifts. And then you've got oppositions and squares, which are the red lines. And those are opportunities for growth through challenges in your life. Now he has his ascendant in Gemini. So when he took his first breath, the Gemini constellation was rising on the horizon. Those with a Gemini ascendant usually have long fingers and arms, and also quite a youthful look to their face. So it's usually either expressed through a round face that's quite cherub-like, or an elf, like a childlike elf type of look. He's also stepping into this life with Gemini energy, which is a focus on learning and communication, specifically learning how to communicate well. Gemini also rules transportation and vehicles, and we all know that he has Tesla and SpaceX and deals with transportation. Now his sun is in Cancer, and it's also in the first house of Aries. Both Cancer and Aries are cardinal signs, so he has incredible leadership qualities. His Mercury is right there with his Sun. That's the Gemini planet. So again, his identity is focused around transportation and communication and learning and curiosity. His Moon down here is in Virgo and the third house. Now, our moon is our emotional self. It's how we express our emotions. And it's that deep side of ourselves that not everybody gets to see. Only those close to us. So many people who have their moon in a water sign like Cancer or Pisces, they often feel emotions deeply, and they express how they feel, and they're compassionate and empathetic, and they cry. Now, with a moon in Virgo and the Gemini house, both of those zodiacs have Mercury as a ruler, and Mercury is the mind and the intellect. So he would process his emotions intellectually. He may overthink his emotions and then end up not knowing how he feels at all in the end. He also has a square to Saturn, so his moon squares Saturn, and that is a challenge, an emotional challenge as such. And whenever you have Saturn involved with the moon like that, he may come across as quite emotionally cold to those that he's close to, but it's something he can work on because it is a square, so it's an opportunity for growth. Now his Pluto is in the third house, so wherever we have Pluto is the house we are to transform. So for him, it's learning and communication. And it's also where our greatest power lies. And not only is the third house learning and communication, but it is transportation, so vehicles. And that is definitely where one of his greatest powers lie, for sure. Now, Saturn is many things because everything it's multi-layered. And one of the things Saturn is it shows us our career. And for him, that's in Gemini. So again, learning communication, and specifically in his case, transportation. And it's in the 11th house, which is the Aquarius house. Now, the 11th house rules outer space, and we all know he deals with rocket ships. It's also the community and humanitarianism. So he's out in the community with his work. It rules independence. It rules technology and genius. And he certainly does that with transportation. Now, I'm going to go straight to his north node now. Wherever our north node is where our soul wants us to head in this life. And for him, it's in Aquarius. So, Aquarian themes, which I just mentioned, community, humanitarianism, independence and liberation, technology and genius, anything considered unique or different, and outer space. He also has his Mars there, so he is carving his own path in all things Aquarian. He is a leader and he is courageous. It's in the 8th house, which is diving really deep. It's the Scorpio house. So it's change. It's always dealing with change and transformation, and it's not sitting on the surface. It's going deep. It's feeling the fear, but jumping in anyway. And yeah, he certainly does all of those things. Now, this had me thinking a lot about the Aquarius archetype because he has it with his Mars as his North Node. His work and career and status are in the Aquarius house. And I noticed that recently he also said that he is on the Autism Spectrum, which is so beautiful that he came out and shared that with the world. And I've noticed in many charts that I have read for people who are on the Autism Spectrum, they have major Aquarian themes, and they often also have emotions that are processed intellectually rather than expressed in a more watery way, if that makes sense. So I was thinking about the Aquarian archetype and the spectrum of it, what's under it. Now, everything under that archetype is linked. It's all linked somehow. And Aquarius does rule outer space and also extraterrestrials. And it had me thinking that if extraterrestrials actually do exist in the universe, I would imagine that they are how they have been portrayed to us thus far, as everything in that under that Aquarius umbrella is linked, and with extraterrestrials being in there, alongside technology and genius, that made sense. Like, you know, they're portrayed to us as being technologically advanced geniuses, and that's alongside them under the Aquarius umbrella. What else is under Aquarius? The Autism Spectrum. So you've got unique ways of expressing yourself, and those who are on the Autism Spectrum, they may struggle with, say, social situations or expression of emotion, but they usually have their own type of genius. And again, extraterrestrials have been portrayed to us as having genius qualities, but being unique. Also, the LGBTQ community falls under the umbrella of Aquarius, as it's something that some people consider unique and different, but it's becoming far more normal, you could say. You know, these days it's a big part of life, and people are comfortable to come out and show people who they really are inside. And extraterrestrials are often also portrayed to us as being gender neutral, which is one aspect of the LGBTQ community. And yeah, they're often not portrayed to us as male or female. It's a type of gender neutrality. So that just had me thinking about the Aquarius archetype and how it's all interlinked, and that if extraterrestrials really do exist, I would expect them to be what they have been portrayed to us thus far. So I hope you found that interesting. And thank you for listening. And I love the Aquarius archetype. It's one of my favorites. So remember, we all have it somewhere. So, what do you have in Aquarius? What do you have in your 11th house, which is the Aquarius house? And where do you have Uranus, as that is the planet of Aquarius? For me, I have it in my 9th house of higher studies, and the 9th house is higher learning, it's teaching and mentoring, and Aquarius also rules astrology. So that's how it's played out for me. I also have my Uranus in my 7th house of relationships, and many people think, why aren't you in a relationship all of the time? And it's because I actually don't want to be. Not at this point in my life, anyway. And a lot of people see that as rebellious or a bit strange, and they don't always understand. So yeah, it's a unique archetype, and we all have it somewhere. So I'd love to hear where you have it. Feel free to write it in the comments, and I'll let you know what it means. So yeah, thanks guys, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.